Hello, this is Mark at Gary's Guitars in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I'm here to talk about the Guitar Center news of the day, or of the week, I should say. I made another video. We're going to call that part one. It's already on YouTube, and it got really popular really suddenly, and I was like, what's going on here? Turns out that it's a hot topic. So, the New York Times recently wrote an article that talked about an imminent bankruptcy for Guitar Center. And a lot of people worried about what that would do to the industry and all that kind of thing. So am I, being in the industry. So, here's some information on that. First of all, I have to start by saying I don't wish badly on Guitar Center. I hope they can restructure in bankruptcy and continue on. I hope that people have jobs at Guitar Center, keep their jobs. I hope people who Guitar Center owes money to get paid. I don't want anything terrible to happen. This is not any kind of Schadenfreude situation. But I will say that it's important to keep an eye on because they become such a behemoth in music retail in the U.S. that their absence will create a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. And it's better to have a competitor who's so-so at their job than a competitor that does really well. So I kind of like having Guitar Center around for that reason. Now it's unfortunate, some of the things they're doing. A lot of their business decisions aren't being made from a love of guitars, as much as a business standpoint. It is a business, of course, all businesses are, but here in the guitar world, it's kind of like the fashion world, where you actually have to love the thing you're doing. You just can't, you wouldn't let a bank run your, you wouldn't let a bank run Yves Saint Laurent. Why would you let a bank run a guitar store? Because what they have is they're being run by a venture capital firm. The venture capital firm steps in. They do a little takeover action where they take control. They load up the company with a bunch of loans and give them some infusion of capital in hopes that can help them break through, get through some problems, break through some troubles, and it's like a win-win situation for the venture capital firm because they pay themselves out of it, and they get to if things go wrong, the company bankrupts, and they get to come in and and pick through the bones. And so they kind of make money anyway because the debt is taken on by not the venture capitalists, which is strange because it's venture, but they use their position in the market to help the company borrow money. So, borrowing money is not bad, but Guitar Center has really gotten into a hole. Over a billion, definitely. And it's been this kind of like increasing, and the falling to this pit like every year, year on year, a little more, a little more, a little more. So what's happening with that? Now there is a pandemic, and everyone's like, oh, instantly people go like, oh, Guitar Center couldn't handle it, and they went broke because of the pandemic. Not necessarily true, because what pandemics do, or what we can see this pandemic doing to us, is it's making things change rapidly. But it's making some companies do great and some companies do badly. But it was the trajectory they were already on. Loaded down with debt, loaded up with some bad business decisions. One of which is focusing on their own brands rather than established brands. For example, there's Roadrunner cases, which aren't bad, Livewire cables, which are bad, Mitchell guitars, Williams pianos, Rogue guitars. These are all Guitar Center owned brands. So they kind of did the McDonald's thing, which is they own the company that makes the French fries and they own the restaurant that sells the French fries, or they franchise to them. But they get an extra little bite of each apple when you actually own the company that produces the thing and you're the retailer. And this from a venture capital way of looking at things, it's a great idea. Cut out other people making money off of you selling the stuff you're selling. But for in this business, you need reliable brands. You need reputation does matter. It's not just like Walmart selling their own brand of jeans, which for them is a great idea. but guitars stores selling their own brand of guitars, if they're not like, if they're not high quality, if they're just another version. The Harbinger amplifiers. They stopped doing business with Behringer and they created Harbinger. A sound-alike name with look-alike products that were just a little worse. And if you know Behringer is not tremendous. And so you don't want to take that quality and diminish it and then try to sell it. So they've been having trouble with that. They've been having the same trouble retail is having all around, which is keeping people in crappy paying jobs. They've been having, in their debt, their mounting debt problem, they've been paying the interest on their debt and not even the principal on their debt. And now they can't even do that. So, there is a bankruptcy imminent. What will happen to Guitar Center? It will not, and I talked about these venture capital stories in my other video, that sometimes you just show up one day and the door is locked. That, my prediction is that's not what's going to happen at Guitar Center. What is going to happen is a reorganization. They're going to renegotiate with their debtors. They're going to get them to accept smaller debt in order to, for concessions, payouts, refinancing of things, shrinking their business, selling off some profitable bits to help consolidate. And there will be a Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, and all that. Their brands will still exist because they're powerful brands. But we have a Guitar Center 2 miles away from our store that opened 25 years after Gary's Guitars opened. And so if we see Guitar Center leave our town, that's probably good for us. But if we see all the inventory of Guitar Centers suddenly hitting the market in a sell-off, that would be bad. So bankruptcy is actually can be a bad thing. In this case, what I predict is consolidation, using bankruptcy to get rid of unprofitable locations, leases they have that they don't want to keep, to streamline, to become more of an online company, to get the retail locations down a little bit. The online game is really different than the store game, and they try to kind of have this synergy, like you can order online, pick it up in the store, and this kind of thing that works well for some companies. Not so much happening there right now. That's another story. So that's what's going on. My prediction is a bankruptcy will happen, a reorganization will happen, and Guitar Center will continue to exist. And but we don't know what will happen. They got to go to the table, and they got to negotiate with the people they owe money to, and that can get messy. So we'll stay tuned. We'll keep you informed. Once again, not hoping for the worst, hoping for something good to come out of this, hoping for a better Guitar Center to emerge, because Guitar Center is important because they take up so much oxygen. So much of the market is focused on them. They're an important thing. I mean, there's some fears that a Guitar Center bankruptcy could hurt guitar brands. So if they're selling millions of dollars a year, millions of dollars worth of whatever a year, and then Guitar Center closes, there will be a place for this. People will, something will happen, but we wish them the best on their already limited scale. So once again, stop by here, Gary's Guitars. We're doing fine, even though the pandemic is changing things. Because we don't have creditors. We can just keep doing what we do, and so if anyone's worried about us in this environment, don't. We're doing okay. Stop by, buy something, sure, but we are surviving, and we will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. So thanks for watching. Check out the other videos on YouTube and Facebook and all that. See you later.